some comments already. Fabulous. I see we've got blah blah in the chat. Lovely to see you. Stephen, lovely to see you. Diz, hi Diz. That's so far brilliant. Thank you for being here. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit late. I fell asleep. Pretty much fell asleep. So I had to quickly shove some food down my throat and then feed the cats because I had to give Thorn his injection and he has to eat while he gets his injection. And then I had to put on my face and do my hair and, you know, look presentable for you guys. So lovely, lovely to see you. I am just sparking up the hamster in my old PC here so I can have two screens in case I need to change. So bear with me a second, guys. This is really slow. This is really, really slow. So how are you all doing? Let me know how you're all doing in the comments. Let me know if you can hear me as well. Sound check, you should be able to see me, but sound check would be good because I'm not seeing anybody commenting about the sound. So hopefully everything's okay. Bear with me, guys, while I open up my channel on my other YouTube. Sound is good. Fantastic. Thank you, Blah. Hi, Pete. It's lovely to see you. Brilliant. Thanks, guys, for letting me know the sound's okay. That's brilliant. Oh. So how's everybody's day been? I've had a bit of a rubbish day today. Bit of a rubbish day. There is something I want to look at quickly that I wanted to bring up. Bear with me a second, that I wanted to talk about. So bear with me. Oh, not that. Not that. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's not on Google. It's gone to something else. It's gone to Bing, and I don't use Bing. One thing, I was looking for a meaning of the word patriotism and I was trying to go onto the Oxford English Dictionary and you have to have an account. So I thought, okay, go onto my Open University account and have a look there. And I can get onto the Oxford website through there, which is great. I thought I could, because I'm sure when I started my course originally a couple of years ago that they said that we could get onto many other university websites. So just bear with me a second. I went to news. There we go. That's what I am looking for. But I will go for... Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Right, so I'm going to talk about this in a minute. It's an article that's just come up that I haven't actually read yet, so I will be reading it out on live on air by the looks of things. So bear with me a second. Let me get back to where I am. So, okay. We have got Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Lovely to see you. Kirsty, lovely to see you. Pete's there. I've already said Pete's name. I'm going to have a look at some of the comments before I start, so bear with me a second. Blah blah says British Patriotism. Let me put the false teeth in. British patriotism seems very recently to just be a reflection of what Americans believe patriotism to be. In essence, it's just a parody of what it actually means. Love that. That's great, because I pretty much agree with what you're saying. Whether it's a parody or not, I don't know, because I think it's moving away from parody now towards something more real and more solid, rather than just a sort of, you know, a cartoonish kind of thing. Stephen, with the utmost respect, I've never identified as British. I'm Scottish to my core. I'm proud of it, as do most people about their country. I completely respect that, Stephen. I have no issue with that at all. You know, I know that you and Pete are very, very Scottish to the core, and I've got quite a lot of Scottish friends, and they are all very much Scottish. I've got a friend called Karen. She lives in Canada now, but she was my sister's friend in school, and we all grew up together. We lived in the same area. And even now she lives in Canada and has been there for, 40 odd years. She's still Scottish. So I completely understand that within you, and I have no issue with that at all. All countries are welcome. All people from all countries are welcome to come into the chat and converse and have lovely conversation. Let's try to keep it nice. Now, guys, I know I've got some of my mods on here tonight, which is great. Thank you. I appreciate it. If there are any comments that come up that you think I need to be alerted to, let me read them first, because I do like to try and engage with people who don't have the same views as myself, to find out and understand why they have their views. And then if things get heated, then we do the booting. So yes, Stephen, completely accept that, completely understand. Okay, I've read that. Depends on your definition of patriotism. Patriotism is wanting your country to be the best it can be. And right now, I know for a fact my country isn't even living up to my lowest standards. I like that. Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. Stephen, you're proud to come from forward-thinking, progressive society, a nation of welcoming people. And everything that I've ever seen, of Scotland, I've been there a couple of times. I love it. The Scottish people are amazing. The country itself is gorgeous. And I love the Scottish accent. I think it's just so sexy. But yeah, it is a beautiful country. And I like the fact that the Scottish people do stick together. I wish the British people would do the same. You're looking forward to independence, Pete? Oh, thanks, Stephen. Yeah, I'll go through what's been happening in my life in a minute. Jessica, you know the death of Charlie Kirk. Do you know the witches of Jezebel? No idea who they are. Put a spell on him 3 days ago and had come out to say they didn't wish him dead. Do witches actually exist? Jessica, witches do exist. I have not read anything about that. I would need to look into it. So let me make a note about that. It might be a video that I do over the weekend, because I don't know them. I don't know if they're a coven. I don't know what type of witchcraft they follow or work with. So yeah, let me look at that before I comment on what was actually done or what they actually did. Bear with me a second. Witches of Jezebel. But unfortunately, things like that, when it comes out, really puts the rest of us witches in a bad light, as if, all we do is cast spells of evil on people. And that's not normally what witches do. Like I say, I would need to investigate it. I would need to look it up. So yeah, please, I think we need to look at the facts. And I've seen some stuff today and heard some stuff today that I didn't really want to talk about Charlie Kirk, but we are going to end up talking about him. So yeah, let's have a look at that a bit later. But like I say, without me knowing anything about them, I can't comment. But what I can comment on is the witchcraft that I know, as I understand, as I have been taught, as I have studied over the 30 plus years that I've been a witch. So yeah, that's all I can tell you. As I say, the witches of Jezebel, never heard of them, something that I will look into. Blah, the quality of being patriotic, devotion to and vigorous support for one's country, highly decorated officer of unquestionable integrity and patriotism. Yeah, I'm guessing you got that from a dictionary. Sorry, guys. Stephen, I love England. Manchester is your second home. My bestie and family are there. I don't like Manchester. Whenever I go to Manchester, it's raining. It rains in Manchester constantly. When I went to Manchester last, it was to see Nine Inch Nails. It wasn't raining then, but I struggled to find the car park that I was supposed to be in for the Nine Inch Nails gig. They're different car parks. I was in the blue car park. And the time before that, I was there for Highland, and they were playing at the O2, and it rained. I got absolutely drenched. Hi, John C. Lovely to see you. Kirsty, you're Scottish too. Well-travelled, but born in Scotland, and most of my life here. Fabulous. For some reason, Kirsty, I thought you were in Wales. But yeah, whereabouts in Scotland? Whereabouts in Scotland are you guys? If you want to share, you don't have to share. John C, hi, thank you for joining. British patriotism is having pride in your country and a willingness to defend the integrity of the society of that country and keep them safe from all foreign invaders who wish harm. Okay, there's a good word there, invaders, and I'm going to come to that word in a little while. John C, Scottish, and you will stand with the whole UK to ensure safety of our people. Okay. You're from Glasgow. Lovely. Kirsty's from Glasgow. Stephen, you believe in witches, white or black. I respect different beliefs. Pagan, Wiccan, I'm not well versed in any, but always had a healthy curiosity. Fabulous. Sorry, guys. Police cars going past. It's raining. So if you hear background noise, nothing I can do about it, I'm afraid. So I'm going to go to the Oxford Dictionary meaning of patriotism. It's very simple. The quality of being patriotic, devotion to and vigorous support for one's country. And I think that's what John just got there, because it says a highly decorated officer of unquestionable integrity and patriotism. So I think that's where you got it from, John. Exact same word. Sorry, I want to go back to, no, not that one, this one. This one. Okay. Because I was looking at something earlier on. So under patriotism, we have other words that fall in line with patriotism. Loyalism, nationalism, flag waving, chauvinism, and jingoism. Now, I will class myself as a patriot. I'm British. I love my country. I love living here. When I lived in South Africa, I missed England. I wanted to come back. I see England as the whole of the United Kingdom. I've been to Wales. I've been, obviously, England. I've been to Scotland. I have never been to Ireland, and it is one place that I really do dearly want to go and visit for several reasons. One, I've got friends there, but also from a deeper pagan reason, I want to go to Kildare to see the Brigade flame that they have there. So to me, patriotism, being patriotic, devotion to and vigorous support for one's country. But I also feel that support can be given in many different ways. Hi, Tammy. Thanks for joining. Totem Photos is my friend Tammy. She's in South Africa. We were friends years ago. I hope you don't mind me saying this, Tammy. Not too clued up with British politics, but interested to hear what everyone has to say. Yeah. Oh, John, you got it from your own understanding, not from a book. Brilliant. Used to be in the South. Okay. Jessica, you're going to Glasgow soon. Your daughter lives there. Beautiful. John C. Glasgow is becoming unrecognisable in my eyes. Well, aren't most places? That's the thing. Most places are becoming unrecognisable. Now, to me, patriotism is not about waving a flag. It's not about hating on other people within your country, no matter their skin colour or their ethnicity or their religion or their beliefs. It's about helping each other, to me. It's about being aware of your neighbours and what they are doing and do they need help. Going back to COVID, when the lockdowns first happened, and we were all told we had to stay inside and so on, and there was this mad dash for everybody to go to the shop and buy food and so on. And my ex went shopping because I have COPD, so didn't want to go because of the, fear of catching it myself at that time. I probably would have been, on the other side by now if I had have caught it. Hence the frog in my throat today. I've woken up with a bit of on my chest. So he bought too much food, and he bought loads that we would never eat and fresh stuff that would have gone off. So there was a site on Facebook where we were all talking, and everybody was sharing, saying, right, I've got this food, you can come and collect it, I'll leave it by the gate, and so on. And everybody was swapping and sharing, and that was just brilliant. That to me is patriotism, keeping people alive within your community. When I speak to my mum, you know, she lived through World War One. Her father my grandfather went to fight. He was in North Africa, I believe El Alamein. His name is on a plaque in Tripoli. He was unalived. He was actually a mechanic. He fixed the tanks, and it was shrapnel that unalived him. So she lived through going down into their whatchamacallit, oh my goodness, menopause brain. Their bomb shelter was actually in the back garden. It was like a brick shed with a concrete roof that later became the coal shed. But she remembers the sirens. She remembers her mum, my grandma, you know, being sad. She remembers going to her grandma's every Sunday, and her grandma would keep her egg for my mum because you were rationed an egg. This was not powdered, this was real egg, so she would get an egg. My mum's grandma would also let my mum choose the first cake if they'd made cakes, because she was growing, she was a child. And then my grandma remarried, and Grandad Jack, as he's known or was known, he was a linesman. He worked on the electric pylons. So he didn't go to war, and he adopted my mum, and then they went and had 2 further children, my 2 uncles. And he was also a gardener, and he basically turned the entire garden into an allotment and was growing food. So they were swapping food within the street, within the neighborhood. That to me is patriotism. Saying hello to your neighbors on the street. When I run every day, I run past the same people every day. I'm like, hello, hello. You know, if they're in the garden, because I run up to the woods, and there are dog walkers, and they're different people that I see, you know, and I say hello to them. They say hello back. Everybody's very cordial, very friendly. And to me, that is patriotism. Patriotism is seeing rubbish and picking it up and putting it in a bin, not throwing rubbish out of the car window. Patriotism to me is picking up your dog's poo. Pet hate of mine. As a runner, I run trails, and you know, I'm constantly looking down for tree roots because tree roots attack me a lot. I was attacked by a branch today, well, a twig that was on the floor. Well, actually, I had to have a toilet break because I needed the toilet, so I went down into a ditch, the side of the path, and behind some bushes. And as I was scrambling up the bank to get out, a twig of some branch caught me, so I've now got another scar on the front of my leg. But yeah, you know, so as you're running, there's dog poo in the centre of the path, and it's like, you know, pick it up. It's your dog. I don't have a dog. I have cats. They poop in their litter trays. I clean their litter trays. If they do poop in the garden, it's my garden because there's nothing around me. So they don't go and poo in other people's gardens. But it is helping other people. I remember a couple of years ago, I was walking, it was just after my father passed away. I couldn't, his car, I inherited his car, my car had blown up. And so it was sawn at that time because the paperwork didn't get to the DLA? The driving licence people, can't think of the name now. Didn't get there, so I had to have it sawn for 6 weeks. And I walked up to the supermarket, and there was this old lady sat at a crossing, you know, with dropped curbs, with the where you've got the blind people bobbles on, where blind people know that that's where they can go. You can feel it through your feet. And she was sat there in her mobility scooter, and not one car would stop, not one car. And I got to her and I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "No, she's trying to get across the road, and you know, she doesn't know what she's doing." I said, "Nobody stopped for you, have they?" And she said, "No." I said, "Right." So I walked out into the street, put my arms out, cars stopped, and she crossed. It was a brand new motor scooter. She'd never used one before. And I mean, my mum is 88. She's very, very immobile. She can hardly see anymore. And I would hope that if somebody saw my mum in that situation, that they would do the same thing. That is patriotism, because not one of those people in those cars would have stopped unless I'd have walked out into the... I would have. If I see somebody standing at a dropped curb, because it is actually put into law now, I would stop and let them cross. That's my, you know, that's my way of being a patriot to other people, because it's about helping people. Nationalism, on the other hand, is not. Nationalism is very, very different. And I often get people saying to me, oh, look at the Nazi party, they were socialists, but they were national socialists. There is a big difference there with patriotism and nationalism. Nationalism is identification with one's own nation and support for its interests, especially to the exclusion or detriment of the interests of other nations. So, when we come to the patriotism that is being shown by those who are raising flags, now I want to say again, I have nothing against flags. Nothing at all. I think the way that it's been gone about is a bit daft. I think that it's been the reason behind it and the vitriol behind it as well from some of the people who have been putting up the flags has been taken to a far right aspect, to a far right degree, because it's been stirred up by certain factions, certain groups of people. And there are a lot of people out there that aren't aware that Operation Raise the Flag is actually from the far right, from the agitators on the far right, rather than just a national thing to do or a patriotic thing to do. So I've spoken to quite a few people and gone, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't realise that this was being manoeuvred by people who are on the same team as the EDL, Tommy, and so on and so on. Sorry guys, must have a sip of water. Now we know that the media has a huge role to play in this stuff because this is all we see. And the things that have gone on in the last week have just been immense. News is moving so quickly and so fast. I mean, guys, I don't even know. I've not seen anything on the news today about Nepal, and I don't know if you guys know what's going on there, but have a look at what's going on in Nepal. Terrifying. We know that Israel attacked Doha. Russia has attacked Poland. Charlie Kirk was unalived. And what I've seen today as well is I follow a guy called Keith Edwards he's an American news channel. And so I've been following him. And he had a clip from an interview with, I think it was Laura Loomer. It was either Laura Loomer or with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And they said that it is the left that have done this. But we don't know who has done this. We don't know who it was. The person's not been caught. And it goes back to exactly the same thing as last year in Southport with the riots there that occurred after Alice, Bibi and Elsie were so sadly unalived. And because that was stirred up by far-right influencers. Tate said it, then Farage heard that and he said it, and so many other people came out and said it, and immediately there was a swathe of men who went to Southport to go and attack a mosque because they had been told that it was somebody who was an Islamist, a migrant, an asylum seeker, and it wasn't. And so all this chaos happened unnecessarily because a few people stirred the pot. So nationalism is when you exclude and push away other people, much like Germany did, much like Hitler did. I was actually reading a really good book, finished it last night, called Him, Hymn, by Graham Masterton. Masterton. He's a horror writer, and it was about a scientist who had survived from World War II. He was a mate of Hitler. Hitler is apparently also still alive, and he was invoking this creature for life ever after, and to bring back the Aryan race into America. It was set in America. He didn't, in the end. He lost. But anyway, sorry, spoiler alert there. But that's what Germany wanted. Hitler wanted everybody that was not German out of the country. And I see the so-called patriots in England at the moment doing the same thing, pushing people out of the country, and not just British people, not just British people who don't agree with them. I'm going to come to this in a minute with something else to do with Charlie Kirk, but to do with obviously people of other colours. There was that guy, you may have seen the clip, I think it was Leeds. He was a white guy, I would say a boomer, telling a woman and a man who I assume were of Indian or Pakistani descent, because they did mention those two countries when they were talking to this guy. You didn't see them, they were filming him, and he was telling them to go home. They were born here. They're not from India or Pakistan. People of all colours and all ethnicities can get on. South Africa is a testament to that. I don't know if Tammy is still watching. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm missing all the comments here because I'm too busy yakking. I'll come back to the comments in a minute. But in South Africa, back in, was it 94? I think it was 94, when the ANC were voted into power. White people, black people, Indian people, Pakistani people, Cape Coloureds, everybody lived together. Yes, there was unrest. Yes, there were difficulties at first, but they're still going. I believe it's coalition government now. I believe that the ANC and the Democratic Alliance, correct me if I'm wrong, are now in a coalition government, which is probably a good thing for the country. South Africa has 12 official languages. It doesn't bother me if I'm on a bus and somebody's speaking in Polish, or somebody's speaking in Hindu, or somebody is speaking in French or German or Dutch or whatever language they speak. Doesn't bother me at all. Not in the slightest. I sometimes still speak Afrikaans, especially when I'm angry and upset. It's a really good language to swear in. So the idea of patriotism and nationalism, and I've said this in some of the videos that I've done, and I've put some posts down, and I've tried to sort of distinguish between what is nationalism and what is patriotism. Patriotism, to me, would be acceptance of everybody, inclusivity. Everybody who wants to make this country their home, everybody who wants to contribute to this country in whatever way, small or large. That could be somebody who is here to pick a crop. It could be somebody who is here like me, and I am British by birth, just so you know. I am actually British. I was born here, moved to South Africa when I was 12, turning 13, moved back here when I was 36. So it is the connection that people have. Every person has a role to play. And okay, this sounds like communism, but it's not. because the state is not in charge. Okay, the state is not running everything. So you still have private business, you still have, you know, government businesses. But everybody contributes in some way or another. I contribute by doing this and by doing many other things that I do in my life to the communities that I work with. Currently studying psychology because I hope to help women who have been through abusive relationships. I work closely with the pagan community. I do a lot of work with them. I am a minister. I'm a Reiki healer. I am a tarot reader. And I know a lot of people are going to go woo-woo. That's okay. That's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. It's what I've been doing all my life. I've also worked in the corporate environment. I've worked in many different fields of industry. I was a bar staff. I was a waitron. I worked in so many different companies, music industry. I modeled for a while, done so many different things in so many different places. And I believe that it doesn't matter who you are, what colour of your skin, what language you speak. If you are living here and you are contributing towards society, then you are a patriot. But a nationalist would only want white people to be in Britain, believing that white people are the true British people. Historically, that's untrue. Historically, when we look at where people originate from, they originate from Africa. They walked all the way up Africa and up through Europe, and Doggerland was part of, it was joined on to France at the time, which was, you know, part of the whole continent, and into England. Their skin eventually changed. Their skeletal muscles, changed. Their skeleton changed as we evolved. The people that went east, their skin colour changed. Their look changed. The people that went west, well, they would have gone west via the east. Red Indians, Amazon Indians, the natives of those countries. But the natives of those countries, a lot of them were wiped out by white people. Now, I'm not just saying British people. We all know that a lot of European countries, and there are other things going on there, but a lot of European countries went into America, Africa, South America, India, the Middle East, and the East to try and dominate, to try and rule. And we had an empire, France had an empire, Germany had an empire. And unfortunately, that mentality has never really left, rather than everybody living in peace, like John Lennon wanted, you know. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Yes, fly your flag, be proud of your flag. Doesn't matter what flag it is. You know, the Union flag, the St. George's Cross, the St. David's Cross, the Welsh flag, and the Irish flag, fly them. We are a nation. The United Kingdom is made up of 4 different nations. We all have our differences. We all speak different languages. And we have been able to coexist in the past, and we do come together sometimes. So let's come together when we need to, instead of tearing each other apart, because that's what the rich and the elites want us to do. They want us to fight with each other. They want us to point fingers. They want the poor people to be pitted against the poor people to distract us from what they at the top are doing. There was a video that I saw from Sky. I'm going to link it onto here after I finish. I wanted to do all the links beforehand, but like I said, I fell asleep, and then cats needed their tea because of Thorn needing his injection and makeup and stuff. But, you know, putting that sort of thing aside, and so these people that are coming here via the boats are 4% of the actual immigration level that is coming into the country. The vast majority of immigrants that come here on study visas or work visas. Those that study here then often transfer to work visas because they want to work here to do those jobs that they've studied for. So if they've studied here, they have studied university level. So they have studied to be doctors, to be nurses, to be, you know, people within an area that we need in the country. So why wouldn't we accept them into our country? My family emigrated to South Africa back in the early 80s, and we joined South Africa and became, I mean, I still, like I say, I still speak Afrikaans. I went to school, I matriculated, I contributed to the country. I also ruined my vote up until we could have one man, one vote when de Klerk called for the referendum there. So it is, to me, it's about equality. Everybody is a being, everybody is a human being, and it doesn't matter what skin colour, religion, or language they speak, because they are human beings. Okay, I'm going to come to some comments, so bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Sorry, I see that Diz has removed some comments. I did sort of see them out the corner of my eye, mate. Yeah. Okay, so I'm guessing there were a couple there. Okay, thank you. Elle is monitoring over on Bin Hot Topic Kirk. Yeah, I'm going to talk about him in a minute as well. Hi, Draka. Not a problem. Lovely to see you. Hi, Joe. Lovely to see you. You've hidden them. Okay, thank you, Blah. They were destabilizing the chat. No problem. Like I've said before, you know, if you are going to chat, sorry, Diz, I didn't see that. I was busy in my head. Engage with the cat. Couple of trolls need kicking. Sorry, Diz. I need an alarm button that flashes and goes off. I can see it now. Sorry. There are people that are going to have different thoughts and opinions to me, and that's fine. They're entitled to have those. I know that John C. said that he doesn't recognise Glasgow, and I'm guessing he meant that because of the people of colour that are now living in Glasgow. Why are we afraid of people with a different skin colour or a different religion? This country is British. It is Church of England. It is a Christian country. I'm pagan. I don't have any issue with any other religion at all, except for extremists. So I want to clarify that, except for extremists. Extremists are not needed. We don't go around trying to, as pagans, trying to convert people into paganism. I saw a good meme today, actually, that if you know, we don't go around doing that, because if you're a witch, you'll find your way there eventually. And so there is that one side of religion that but I've had Jehovah's Witnesses knock on my door. I've had Mormons knock on my door, and I've spoken to them and engaged with them, sometimes for an hour, invited them in for a cup of tea and a chat, because they need to also learn and understand that there are other beliefs, there are other ways that, you know, we're all people. Where do we go when we die? A good friend of mine, very well known in the pagan community, Barbara Mickle-John Free, was in hospital over the last 2 weeks. She was very, very poorly. She actually passed away in the A&E, and she told of how she felt that she was being taken up to somewhere beautiful. And then she was thingied back to life again. So she's back with us. She's actually gone home today, but she had pulmonary embolism. She had blood clots in her lungs and all sorts of horrible things. And so, you know, does it matter what colour a person's skin is, because they are a person? People are talking about invasion. It's not an invasion. People are escaping where they're coming from. And as I said, it's 4% of the full total of immigration that comes into this country. People like Farage have hijacked this and made it into a thing to create chaos and to create division. That is what they're doing. That is what they're doing. And those poor people that were drowned in the channel, just awful. And the comments that I saw on some of those posts were horrific, absolutely horrific. How could anybody think that somebody drowning is a good thing? It's just not. It just isn't. Sorry, I'm coming back to the comments now, guys. Psycho Guru 777, I also agree with John. So, okay, I'm reading some of the comments. I'm skipping over ones that were replies to John because I can't see his comments anymore. By looking after other nations and people, we all, this is from Kirsty, we all help each other. Refugees are created by desperate situations. If we can, we should always try to keep peace, as war just causes desperation. And it does. And I remember going back to South African story again, because it's something that I lived through. A lot of people who were supporting the ANC, who were trying to get, freedom within the country for the indigenous people, had to leave. And some of them came here to England because they would have been unalived by the government in South Africa at that time. We have accepted in Ukrainians, we accepted in the first wave of Afghanistanis when the Taliban were given back control. And there's this huge misunderstanding of Islam and what the religion is actually about, because people just don't want to learn. They hear the sound bites, the clicks, the part, and they get riled up by this. These people are coming here taking our things. No, they're not. We took their things. We supplied bombs and weapons to their countries, and we took their country away from them. Also, the amount of immigration that comes into the United Kingdom from the rest of the world is very, very small. Very, very small in comparison. When you look at Africa, okay, so Africa was invaded by many, many countries from Europe. So there are French-speaking countries. Nigeria, for example, is a French-speaking country. So a Nigerian leaving Nigeria would more than likely go to France because that's the language that they speak. Whereas somebody from South Africa would probably come to England because it's a language that they speak. Or if they were Afrikaans, they would go to Holland because they speak, Afrikaans is similar to Dutch. So people will move to the places where they feel a stronger connection with. The fact is that we need people to come and work here. Britain, the United Kingdom, has an aging society. The boomers are all getting old. Gen Xers, my generation, haven't really had kids in such a big way. And millennials and Gen Z, well, I feel so sorry for them. They can't buy houses, children. So there's nobody to take or to look after the boomers. There'll be nobody to look after me. That's okay. I'm not bothered about it. Care is going to be one of the biggest factors in the next 10 years as the boomer generation starts to have to go into homes and hospitals and so on. That is going to get really, really swollen with people. Let's have a look at some comments. Okay, there's not a problem. Discuss, debate, use easy, safe language, be inclusive, then all's good. Safe spaces, yeah. Did we boot Psycho? They are cooperating to destabilize the chat. Yeah, they are. They do. It's what they do. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. Wasn't waiting. Sorry, I'm trying to... Scott, you couldn't believe what you were hearing regarding Kirk. 1820 settlers. Yes, Kirsty, definitely. Cameroon is French speaking as well. Yes, it is. There are countries in Africa that speak Portuguese. So, yeah. Yeah, no one knows who shot Kirk, so they're weaponizing the situation. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about next. Most of the immigrants in Lancaster are Chinese students. They almost all go to the management and business school at the uni. Hi, Mithril. Sorry, missed you there. Be colorblind. Don't be so shallow. Yeah. Yeah. It is... So I'm sorry, guys, that the chat went a bit skew-whiff. Yeah, Kirsty, Arvia Beer. Eugene Tablanche. Yeah. He fell off his horse, didn't he? That was funny that day. I know we shouldn't laugh, but he did fall. I said, isn't he no longer with us? I know that somebody else, I think somebody else has taken over Oranjestad now, Orange City, where the sort of Arvia Beer have their own enclave. Not my fault, Witchy. Yeah, I should have looked, because when I saw John C's picture, I thought, yeah. Yeah, I've actually not seen the actual unaliving of Charlie Kirk. I haven't actually seen that. I saw, and then they stopped. I saw a bit last night. Now, to be honest with you, I am not really aware of Charlie Kirk and what he was and what he does. But from what I've read today, I've tried to educate myself as much as I can. I'm going to have to do a lot more reading. He was very anti-trans. He was very right-wing. And I believe he was very family-oriented, which is not a bad thing. However, a lot of the family-oriented tend to go down the trad wife route, which means they want to dominate women and be misogynist and patriarchal. Which, if following a thread is difficult, it is difficult because I can see the comments going, and I'm trying to talk. Was he vile? I wish you'd have screenshot those messages for me and then could send them to me, because I'd love to see them, because I'm actually starting to report some of them now. One person on one of my videos said that I should be hanged. So I did actually report that. I don't like to clog up police's time with stuff like that, but, you know, protections for myself. I mean, I know that that trans suffers the same thing, and it is, they pick on women. They do. They rather pick on women than men. It's something they do. They think that they can. You know, destabilize us easier than they can destabilize men. Kirk was a sophist. He used words to make the lack of arguments and promote his agenda. I feel nothing for his demise, but I have no schadenfreude, I love that word, for his death. But I can't lie and say I am sorry. I feel sorry for his family and his children that he left behind. However, he was a gun lobbyist, wasn't he? I know that one of the things that he did say was that some people have to be unalived with weapons in order for American people to have their Second Amendment right, which is the Second Amendment right, isn't it? Okay, I'm come to the comments in a minute. Sorry, guys. So he advocated for guns, and the irony is that he was unalived by one. And yet now I heard, as I said, I think it was either Marjorie Taylor Greene or Laura Loomer. It was one of them. I'm not sure which one. If you have a look at Keith Edwards, he did a video not long before I came live on air about it. And in that video, she actually said that it's the left that have done this, the left are to blame. The left need to be stopped. The left need to be taken out. It's exactly what the nationalists want. Exactly what the far right want, is to turn around and blame the left, just the same way that Farage turned around and blamed some imaginary Islamist Muslim person for the unaliving of Alice, Bibi and Elsie. And it's the exact same tactic that they will always use. They will always use it, always. And it is terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. I welcome and embrace every single person in this world, unless they're, unalivers and serial unalivers. But every person who has been born on this planet has a right to live here. And the fact that some factions go and create war and create destruction and it's horrifying. And I'm going to take a step back now, and I'm going to say this, and some of you may get very upset with me, but they're all men. They're all men. It's power. Women are naturally nurturers. Naturally, we care for people. Naturally, we want people to be happy and we want to create a safe space. But these men in power, they're narcissists, they are Machiavellians, they are psychopaths. And a lot of psychopaths become mass unalivers or serial unalivers. But some psychopaths become presidents and prime ministers. I'm going to come back to the comments because I've seen some stuff here that I want to just go over. Not worth reporting, Witchy. He just had incompatible views. It's a terrible thing to say, should be reported. Yeah, I did report him, the guy. I've left the comment there. The comment is there. I didn't remove the comment. I reported it to YouTube and I reported it to the police, but I've left the comment up. There's only one other comment that I did delete a very long time ago when I was first starting out on my channel. Now I don't delete anything. And I know that Stephen said to me some of his comments had gone missing. I've not deleted them. YouTube does stuff in the background. And if you can't find your comment, click on newest first. You've got the lines, click on newest first and your comment should come up. And then scroll as well. Sometimes you have to scroll quite far down. It seems to be, like I say, it's YouTube. Think Mods did a stellar job sorting before it got that far, Witchy. Safe hands. They are, Scott. They are. They're lovely mods. Lovely mods. I'm so glad that I've got you guys here. FFS Witchy, some people really are the lowest. Stay strong. Always, always, Stephen. I'm stronger than a lot of people I know. Mithril, you can't mourn Kirk. Collateral damage. Witchy, I wonder if you still believe that at the last seconds. Maybe, maybe not. It's... Who knows what we think in the last seconds of our lives? Interesting topic for a further live. He was into the subjugation of women, surrendered wives. Yeah, he did. He wanted women to, yeah, I know. That enough is enough for me to say, no, not worth my effort or time. To me, gay people, trans people are people. It does not matter what my opinion is. It is their business, and I'm glad that the trans people question here has not been politicized. No, Joe, a lot of the people that follow me are trans. I have a load of trans friends and absolutely love them. And they are some of the nicest people that I know. And they know who they are, who are watching. So, yeah, just... I am very, very, very inclusive of all LGBTQIA. To me, it is part... I'm inclusive of Romani. I'm inclusive of everybody. Absolutely everybody. I'm not sure what is effed up. I think it was the trip. I think that was in regards to the comment where the guy said that he wanted me to be hanged. Israel selling weapons inside the UK. Oh, good. That's just another thing, isn't it? I was so close to making the joke from Shawshank. I bet that D-Star had a fun conversation at the pearly gates with St. Peter, if you believe that stuff. Well, Mithril, I believe that we do have some form of way of being answered to, or way of responding to other people. You know, when we pass over, perhaps we face up to what we have done in our lives. There's a gentleman by the name of Dr. Michael Newton. He is a hypnotherapist. He's written 2 books. Well, it's 3 books, I think, or probably more, but the 2 that I read was Life Between Lives, and another one was about souls. And what he started doing, he was hypnotizing his clients to help them and to regress them, to help them heal. And what he was finding was that those people were then having experiences of lives in between their past lives. So he started to record all of this. And in his studies, he actually found that these people all had very similar experiences in their lives in spirit. And one of the people explained it as in, when you go to the other side, you are put in front of like a television set, giant television set, and it plays your life back to you, and it shows you all the things that you did that were good or bad. So just one thing to think about. Sorry. Plug. Yes, thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm going to be appearing on Reagan Elite's show on the 2nd of October. It's going to be at 8 p.m, I believe. Not quite sure what we're talking about yet. We've sort of briefly discussed things. We'll go into more detail as we get there in the future. I think I've just got loads going on. He's incredibly busy as well. And I must say, guys, go and watch Reagan Elite tonight at 8 p.m. He is talking about mental health. I will be tuning in. Super Tansky is going live at 7:30. So tune into her as well. So I may have to have TV, phone, laptop on to watch all these different channels at the same time. I was actually thinking of this before I sat down, and I was thinking to myself, you know what, we should start our own channel. The likes of, you know, Phil, Max, Aid, there's so many of us, aren't there? You know, and have a show every day or every second day of what we do. We all align pretty much. Some of us have different perspectives on things, but we don't get to that point of arguing with each other where we bring each other down. I mean, yes, I know that Phil and Graham will have disagreements that get quite heated on a Friday in the agenda, but they don't start swearing at each other. They are able to, you know, accept that there are things that they have differences of opinion on. Sorry guys, just going back up the chat here because I've missed some chats. B-Starred, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, Mithril. Translation, yes, I know, Draka. My wonderful I'm so going to miss you next weekend. I really am. I'm so sad about that. I was so looking forward to having a couple of glasses of mead with you. Yeah, next weekend, guys, it is Mabon. It is a Sabbat. It is the second harvest Sabbat where we celebrate the grape harvest, the wine harvest and fruit. And basically we drink a lot of mead and celebrate with a fire and food and companionship and friendship and give thanks to our goddess and God for what they bring us in our lives. I have to laugh because, excuse me guys, a lot of Christians will say they're Christian, and I think to myself, when was the last time you were in a church? I was probably in a church more recently than you were. The horse, the white horse that was damaged in North Yorkshire with the flag, there was another one as well. I did want to talk about that. Kilburn horse as well, white horse, the flag appeared on it. The one that was in North Yorkshire, Westbury. Oh, sorry, no, that was in Wiltshire, Westbury one. Sorry. Had a flag, St George's Cross flag put on it. Luckily, it wasn't paint, it was material, but they used pegs to fasten it down with, so there's minimal damage on that. And there was one at Kilburn as well. I'm not sure where Kilburn is, just bear with me. Kilburn. The story's unavailable. I can't get to that story. Sorry, guys. But I do want to read this article from the Swindon Advertiser. Sorry, I know. What's it? Anyway, this article, I'll link it into the description box. Public give verdict after Red Cross added to White Horse. And this is the one at Wiltshire. Red ribbons creating the St George's Cross on the Wiltshire White Horse got a lot of people talking. The surprising and short-lived addition to the historic site split opinion as Wiltshire residents discussed whether it was a patriotic bit of fun or a worrying example of nationalist vandalism. Westbury Town Council will send a team there to assess any damage. Here's what you had to say on the matter. Lynn Northmore said, "That's naughty. It's the Sycamore Gap tree all over again. I sympathise, but not on our monuments." Jane Mulroney said, "Doesn't matter. I think it's perfect on our White Horse monument." Wendy Lansdowne said, "Pure vandalism." Robin Walford said, "It's red fabric, not painted." Get over yourself shouting vandalism. Alex Sutherland replied, "It's tens of kilos of man-made material dumped on a hillside, which will be left to the general taxpayer to clear up. So yeah, vandalism." Ben Anderson replied, "Yes, but it was pegged actually onto the chalk, potentially damaging it. I'm all for flags, roundabouts and crossings, but leave out areas of historical importance. The optics are clear enough as it is." I agree. I'm not going to carry on reading the rest of the comments, but why? It's like when Just Stop Oil sprayed Stonehenge. I supported Just Stop Oil until that moment. I'm like, no, you cannot damage one of the most iconic pagan structures where we worship. I would never go to a church and spray a pentagram on the door. You know, I have the utmost respect going into churches. I've been into Notre Dame. I've been into St. Paul's Cathedral. I've been into St. Peter's in Rome, into the Vatican. And I have the utmost respect for those places. The energy that is in them, if you are pagan and you work with energy, you will feel that energy and it's like, wow, that energy is just immense and amazing. And it's belief. It's the people that go there and worship there have belief and they have love. And that is what paganism is. And for them to go and put that cross onto the White Horse there, it's just wrong. It's just completely wrong. Why vandalize something that is sacred? It just makes no sense to me. Right, I'm going to read some comments and then I'm going to have to go. You think Starmer said it was all roses? What, the other side, or his rose garden, or his life all roses? Politicians, you couldn't make them up. No, you couldn't. You couldn't make them up. They are the worst of the worst. Green Party, because I'm a member of the Green Party now, actually sent out an email looking for people to be to run for them. I can't. The amount of stuff I've said online about politicians. No. You think Angela Rayner had it bad? Sorry, I don't mean that in a derogatory way, because I love Angela Rayner, I really do. But I did leave the Labour Party when they started on the trans rights and the welfare cuts and everything. I thought, I just can't. I can't. They are no longer aligning with my beliefs. And Zach Polanski is actually doing an amazing job at the moment. He's got his own podcast. I've seen some brilliant interviews with him. He is very eloquent and knows exactly what he's talking about. And hopefully he will be the charge to the left that is needed at the moment. Plus, I've heard don't know whether it's true, that some Labour members are possibly going to swap to Green. So, keeping fingers crossed. I think of death as the same as the time before I was born, not here. I like that, not here. I hope he's reborn as a trans woman. It would be good karmic justice, that it would. Or a trans man. Yes, Draka, you are more than welcome here. There's a few trans women who follow the channel, and I do still want to do a trans series where I want to be interviewing some of my trans friends that I'll be pre-recording or doing live. It's up to the person whether they want to be on the TV or not. Past life regression has an iffy record. Most Americans were either Cleopatra or Napoleon. Yeah, I know. I have a lot of friends that said they were Cleopatra in a past life. Zhao, I did not ask to be born. I will go when Odin calls me. Exactly. When the Morrigan calls me, I will go. I was an altar boy and played in the church. I was a relative angel until the day I played Evil One by Venom in a church talent show. Is that the one where he sings In League with Satan? I've got a Venom album somewhere. In fact, there's a new Slipknot album. I've seen some of the new videos, been watching them today. The Roses was in reference to letting Israeli weapons company to have an expo in London. Oh, yes. I remember hearing about that today. So many, there's so much news. We can't take it all in. Blah, blah. I love to be a Green MP, but I don't think my straightforward nature would go down well in Parliament. Yeah, I think, I'd get kicked out. I'd be sent to the tea room. Trip, imagine seeing pictures of your old town being blown up, being used on an advertisement in London. Weird, SHIT. Yep, Whiskey, you still listen to it and play it. It is that one. I thought so. I thought it was that one. I haven't listened to my Venom albums for years. I must actually have a listen again. But yeah, there's a difference between patriotism and nationalism. And a lot of those that are on the right claim to be patriots, but they're actually nationalists. And I've seen some comments today online which have actually really cheered me up. People saying they agree with the flags, but they don't agree with the sentiment behind them that is coming from the far right. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Some of these people have hijacked that flag for that specific reason. To prove a point that the flag to them is more important than it is to us. Well, it's not. I consider myself a patriot. I still have my, and I said this the other day, I still have my Silver Jubilee tea towel from 1977. Still have it. I use it. It's got a couple of holes in now, but I'll not get rid of it. It's never going to be turned into a rag. I've still got some Silver Jubilee like little ashtray things with the Queen on from 1977. That's patriotism. I'm not a royalist. But I was a kid, I was a kid, and we had a street party and we had bunting and we had cakes, and a little girl who weed her pants won the prize for the fancy dress, which was fair. I thought I looked the best, but I went as Mary quite contraire, this long part. Remember back in the 70s, you had these long party dresses. It was very floor, and I had a watering can. And my sister went as a hula girl in a hula skirt with a lei around her neck. And I think the little girl that won was a teapot. I can't remember now, but she accidentally wet herself and she won. But somebody else said on something else that I saw today, I see so much stuff and I can't remember all of it. I need to start writing it down. That they want the villagers to go back to how they used to be. That's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. That time has gone. My childhood time has gone. My niece and nephew's childhood time has gone. The world moves on. The world changes and grows. And all we can do is live our best life while we live in it. And have that patriotism that I talked about at the beginning, which is helping each other, helping that person across the road, checking in on your neighbour that they're okay if you don't see them for a few days, helping them in winter, shoveling their snow away if you need to, or checking that they've got bread and milk. Simple things like that. That is patriotism. Picking up your rubbish, picking up your dog's poo. That is a massive thing for me. I hate finding dog poo on the trail because it's a massive bugbear of mine. You're running, you think it's a leaf and then you realise it's not and you have to jump over it, You and Nell Gwyn, there's... Let's have a look here. Sorry, I can see we're all talking about 1977 fancy dress now. The best flag was the one that had England painted on it, Go Gammons. Yeah, the one that I found disgusting was the ones that were on those mattresses. I did post a picture of it. I'm like, that is not patriotism. On a scruffy old mattress. Blah, blah. Yeah, I'd tell the Speaker of the House to F off. I'm busy laying down some hard truths. Yeah. Did you won the fancy dress party at your fancy dress at your street party? Seeing Brits with the Union Jack Speedos on at the beach here does not seem very patriotic to me. Yeah. The thing is, Joe, when back in the 90s, when Spice Girls came out, and they did the whole British thing and they wore the flag dresses and stuff, I actually bought myself a pair of Union flag socks, and I still have a pair of Union flag socks somewhere. But wearing it now, would I feel comfortable with it? But yeah, Union flag Speedos, yeah. Diz, won the Silver Jubilee fancy dress party. The St. Gammons cross, I like that. Scott, you went as a bunch of grapes, 20 green balloons tied around me. I was mortified. Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. My brother and I went as the Loch Ness Monster, still lost to a caveman. Oh, no. Sorry, I've lost stuff here. Change is inevitable. The person that taught me the Germanic pagan traditions of my family told me that. It is inevitable. It is. This was Nell Gwyn. Hi, Lana. Lovely to see you. You were pikeman number 5. Pikeman number 5. Not sure what that reference is. Holding doors open for people. Just do it, you lazy gits. Absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree. I hold doors open for older men and let them through. That's really no issue. Life is an eternal change, the wheel of fire, of faith, even the gods shall die and return. Absolutely. Diz, you had oranges too. Kids get masked here during carnival. I never liked it. Yeah, we didn't wear masks at the time. I must admit, I do like it in Venice with all the masks. I actually do have some tiny little ones that I bought when I was over there because I wanted a big one, but I was backpacking, so there's no way I could put it into my backpack. So I bought these tiny little ones and I've got them hung up in my living room and I absolutely love them. Diz, treat others as you wish to be treated. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And also in paganism, when I go to a lot of the pagan things that I go to, we do wear masks. We were talking about past lives at one point. We've moved on to the Silver Jubilee 1977 fancy dress parties that we all had in the street parties. Oh, I miss that. I do miss that. But we've moved on. We've moved on. I can't have a street party outside. This is a B road, traffic hurtles down here at a ridiculous speed. So many people's cats have been unalived out here. It's awful. Absolutely awful. Right, guys, it is 7:15. Go head over to Super Tansky's channel. She's going live at 7:30, I believe. So I'll be heading over there to watch. And then, as I said, Reagan Elite is going live at 8 p.m. talking about mental health. So if you want to get involved with that, please do. I will also pop on there because it's something that I am interested in. As I'm studying psychology, I feel that that's, you know, I have my own mental health issues as well. I have bipolar, I have borderline personality disorder, I have anxiety, I have agoraphobia, I have all sorts of things. So yeah, there's a lot of things I can relate to, but have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you, mods, for booting the people that were causing, she did stream last night, Diz, but I'm sure I saw something that said she was streaming tonight as well. So I'm not sure, not 100% sure. Yes, please like and subscribe if you're not liked and subscribe to the channel. So yes, I better get going. I need to sit down and put my feet up for a little bit now. So have a wonderful evening. I may be live on Sunday evening at 6. I'm not 100% sure. It depends how the race goes on Sunday. The forecast is rain, so I may be exhausted. So we shall see. Blessed be everybody. Mwah.